EGM Network.
Honestly, without Treasure Coast Community Health, I think we'd be a much poorer community in terms of our health. We're always striving to fill the gap for everyone in the community, rich or poor.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Community Conversations. Every week I come with another guest to have a great conversation. Thankfully, I know a lot of people in the community. I'm privileged to call many of them friends. They all add to the health and well-being of our community in some way, shape, or form. And so it seems very appropriate for a primary care provider organization like Treasure Coast Community Health to be having these conversations so that we can share with you all the things and all the people that make our place so special. So this week is no exception. Welcome, Michelle Dale from Gold Star Mothers.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we go back a bit,
Yep.
We were saying before the show started that it has been a very, I don't think either one of us used the word stressful, but very busy couple of weeks between recovery from the hurricane/tornadoes and all the events that it displaced and all the different things. So we're glad that you're on the program.
Yes. I'm glad to be here. Yes, I will say that the last couple of weeks have been stressful for me, as there were so many things that had happened prior to and because of the hurricane and the tornadoes. It just totally disrupted many things that were planned, one of which was our walkathon for military veteran suicide awareness. We always, not always, but the last 4 years, I believe, we had it at the Grand Pavilion in Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
And when the hurricane hit, the disaster that it created, especially beachside, never thinking that I wouldn't be able to do it there physically, and then all of a sudden finding out, like 2 weeks before, that we had to do a change, and we tried a couple different avenues, and there was just no place to have it because it was either already booked or it was staging areas as it was at the Grand Pavilion. So long story short, we ended up doing it virtually, which we did in 2020, I guess. That was the
pandemic.
The pandemic, yeah. And I don't remember it being that much work way back then, but it was just impossible. There were so many things to cover, as I asked people to walk virtually and just send us pictures or videos if they took them. And we decided that since we were asking them to walk virtually, we needed to do something virtual too. So we had a virtual opening with the gentleman, Kyle Kraft, who was going to do the national anthem for the program. So he came, a couple members of our team, and a good friend of mine, Ross Rowlandson, videotaped it, and we did it by the Iraq-Afghanistan monument.
Yes.
And had background pictures of the flags from Memorial Island. And he did a fantastic job because in the opening, I mentioned why we were doing it virtually. And in the video that he did, he actually had part of the debris where the event
where
would
they're
have
making
happened.
the mulch.
Yes. And it was like mountains of mulch, and he had it in the background. It was really, truly amazing what he did.
So it sounds like the extra work was self-imposed. You took the 2020 lessons and said, we can do better, which is your trademark. You're always making better.
Yes. We definitely tried to. And what we did, we worked with the American Legion Post 39, they're very good to the Gold Star Mothers. They help us with a lot of projects there. And they allowed us to not only have the shirt pickup the one day we had scheduled, but we were able to be there Saturday and Sunday also, which allowed us to take all of our raffles, our raffle items, and have them on display for anyone who came in to pick up a shirt or who went there for lunch and just came in to see what was happening. So it allowed us to not lose the revenue from the raffles, which was wonderful. And I got to meet many people who just stopped by, and one person, it relates to the hurricane and the tornado, and we were there and we're sitting, and this gentleman walked in, an older man, and he said, "What's happening back here?" And we explained to him while we were there. And I said, "Would you like a shirt?" He said, "I can't even buy anything. I didn't get any FEMA money yet. My house is gone." He lived in Spanish Lakes. And he was like so forlorn. I said, "What size do you wear?" And so I just gave him a shirt. And I said, "Do you have a wife?" And he said, "Yeah." And so I gave another one in her size. And he was so grateful. And it was just to add something, to the mix with what we were trying to do. We made a gentleman and his wife happy. And yeah, that was quite profound.
I'm sure it was. We have had such an outpouring of those stories, as well as the responses of kind and caring people that live here. And that, to me, it just gives me goosebumps that everybody's willing to stop and listen and ask a little bit more and then respond in a very positive way.
Exactly.
So tell us, the collections that you do through the walk and through the raffles, what happens to that money? What do you use it for, Michelle?
We started this in 2019. We flew by the seat of our pants, actually, and it all came from a little paragraph in a Gold Star Mother magazine, which we receive every so many months. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, but if someone's not familiar with Gold Star Mothers, tell us a little bit background on that. Okay.
A Gold Star Mother is a mom who lost their son or daughter, either in combat, in service, or because of that service, or are missing in action, or POWs.
Okay.
And I lost my son, Dale, my youngest son, Army Corporal Dale J. Kudlow, in 2010 on November 7th. And I became part of the Gold Star group, which there is a national one, American Gold Star Mothers Incorporated, is that's been together since 1928 and incorporated in 1929.
How did you find out about that group in your grieving? Did someone move forward and give you a hug and whisper in your ear, or how did that happen?
Actually, how it happened for me is I thought I would be okay, and I would just get through everything. And
strong woman that you are.
Yeah, there you go. And I had a couple of setbacks, but things were happening where I formerly lived in Pennsylvania, and I was feeling really depressed that nobody was letting me know, because there were events from my son back there, and they didn't let me know, like I lived in, thousands of miles away.
Gotcha.
And I was hurt, and I talked with my husband, and he said, "Well, you met a couple veterans at Memorial Island at the services. We know them a little bit. Why don't you talk with them?" And it was John Michael Matthews and Tony Young. And I just started talking with John Michael and told him, how I was feeling. And he said, "Michelle, come to the council meetings." This is way back when it was totally different from now. And I went, and I told my husband, I said, "That place, they're amazing. Those veteran groups are totally amazing, all the members that they had at that time." And I continued to go to the meetings, and one meeting, at the end of the meeting, John stood up, and he said, "I would like to have Michelle Dale become an honorary member of this council." And I'm sitting there like, seriously, I'm not a veteran.
You're right.
And everybody agreed. And so after that meeting, which was presided by Tony Young, he was the chairman at that time, Tony came to me and he said, "Well, Michelle," he said, "now that you're an honorary member of this council, I want you to start a Gold Star Mother group in Indian River County." And I looked at him, I said, "Well, I better find out about it." And I Googled it.
Okay. Two outstanding men in our community.
Oh, I love them. I do so much, especially with Tony. We've gone through so many things together, and he's
Phenomenal.
Always there for me. And so is John. John is a truly good friend of mine, and had conversations, many of them, with the last few years. And I just love them deeply. That's how I got started.
Well, I'm so glad that Tony gave you a prod, because you currently have, it's not a club everybody wants to join.
You're right.
But nonetheless, it is a very supportive and engaging club. How many women, or I guess it's mostly women, since it's Gold Star Moms.
The organization itself everything is around moms.
Okay.
And in Indian River County, well, for anybody to start a group, you have to have 5 moms, which I eventually, it took me years to find them because a lot of moms won't come forward. And eventually I did, and that's how I was able to start the organization, and that was in 2019. And then we became incorporated in 2020 during COVID. There was not much to do, so I did all the work. And
did all the paperwork.
Yeah, we did all that and got it done. But 2019 was the year that we first started the walkathon. And as I was beginning to say from the magazine, a little paragraph at the end of a page, president's page, was if you want to do something good for veterans as a new chapter, have a walkathon for military veteran suicide awareness. And we could do that.
And then COVID happened.
Yeah, and not having any idea how much work it would be, but how rewarding it is. Because what we do with the funds that we raise, we get budgets from Dogs for Life and from Mental Health Association and our next generation veterans for sessions that are held with them or in their establishments for our veterans who are struggling with service-related PTSD. And in America, when we started this, it's the reason why it's a 2.2-mile walk. It was 22 a day. It's now 36 to 40 some every day who are dying by suicide. And the groups that we got together, it's just like how unlikely that you all meet a Gold Star mother, next generation veteran who are the younger veterans, Mental Health Association, and Dogs for Life. It's like, how does that all mesh together? And way back then, it just happened. And we worked together. We stayed together.
You had a common goal.
We did. And the money that I raise is given to these organizations for the sessions that are held in their establishments. And since we started this, we have not lost one, which is...
That is so special to be able to hear that.
Yeah, and we get... I don't know everyone who attends, but I know some who do, and I know who facilitates. And by the way, all the facilitators are veterans, which is a big plus for it because a lot of veterans don't want to talk to anybody else but a veteran. And the people who attend range from Iraq, Afghanistan veterans to Vietnam veterans. And they all have that sense that they are now able to share, and they open up and they talk, and it helps them to heal within.
Absolutely.
And from simple support groups, not that they're not important, they extremely are, but next generation veterans with one of their group who is also a combat veteran and has instructions on his own how to deal with it in your mind, which helped him. We have a curriculum base, so we have a combination of the both. And we have co-ed groups, and we have a female-only group.
Different issues.
We just this year, we've been trying to do this for the past couple years, gotten together a group for spousal support for the spouses who live with the veterans with PTSD.
So we're going to talk about that and more, but we're going to have to take a short break from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back. Don't leave. Treasure Coast Community Health in-house pharmacies have the lowest prices in Indian River County, even lower than big box pharmacies. Taking your medication as prescribed leads to better health. Affordable medicine makes it easier. Treasure Coast Community Health patients can pick up medicine as they leave the office or use free delivery and mail order services. Pharmacists are always available to answer questions. Switch to TCCH pharmacies. Save money, stay healthy. 772-257-8224 and ask about our price match.
If you dream of creating a home that embodies sophisticated island living, visit Sunshine Furniture during our Tommy Bahama Home for the Holiday Sale. Bedroom, living and dining room, home office, media, and occasional pieces, Tommy Bahama Furniture is distinctive and unique, yet inviting and comfortable, and is all on sale now. We're also having a huge Black Friday closeout sale on patio furniture, indoor sofas, chairs, occasional tables, and dining sets from Berlin Garden, Windward, Telescope, Lloyd Flanders, Four Seasons, Capri, Universal, and more. Also, all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price, and don't forget to visit our outlet and sales center across the street. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach, next to Planet Fitness. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and hurry in today for our Black Friday savings.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Ooh, have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
Hey, you! Host your very own show every week at Evergreen Media Network in Vero Beach. Go live to YouTube and Facebook with up to 4 people and your very own producer. Be heard on more than 15 podcast platforms and local radio. All you have to do is show up and talk. Your guests can join from anywhere in the world. It's easy to get started with the largest podcast studio on the Treasure Coast. Contact Evergreen Media to tour the studio.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. If you're just joining, I'm pleased today to have Michelle Dale here. Michelle is the founder and president of Gold Star Mothers of Indian River County. Mm-hmm. Finally got a title right. And Michelle just finished one of her events with your board and all of your supporters. That would be the annual walk that you all do as a fundraiser. Although we talked about the twists that were necessary because of the high mulch over at the usual starting point. But would you say that you learned a lot from it? Did you feel it was still semi-successful?
I did learn a lot from it. I know that this community supports what we do, because when we decided to go virtual, I contacted every sponsor. Not one wanted their money back because they said we believe in the cause.
Oh, wonderful.
And I actually had one sponsor who generally did our 50-50 at the walkathon send me another check to cover the 50-50.
Oh, how awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, sponsors.
Yes. And American Legion, who was also a sponsor, as I said, was so kind enough to let us stay there. And because we did not have the opportunity on day of to sell our shirts for everyone who registered, they have taken them and they're going to sell them for us so we don't lose all the money from there.
That's wonderful.
Supportive. The community is so supportive, and I'm very grateful for that.
So anyone could go to the American Legion and buy a shirt?
I don't know if I can say anyone. It depends on whether it's lunchtime if you walk in there. But other than that, you need to be a member. But the shirts will be on display with their shirts.
Okay.
And if anybody wants to buy one, they will be there.
Well, the holiday season's coming up, and we have a lot of patriotic folks, a lot of supportive people in this organization surrounding you. So,
And I've been seeing a lot of shirts in the area lately. It's just very interesting. It makes me feel good. Because what I do, I truly believe in.
Absolutely. Your passion shows. So what have you got next on the agenda?
I think I have like a break. But I did the Red, White, and Blue concert. I don't know if you're aware that through Tony Young, when he was still the chairman of the council, I happened to view a Red, White, and Blue concert and knew they were looking for somebody for help. And I said to Tony, I said, well, I'm a former teacher. And I said, my son played in the orchestra. Maybe I could go see if they need help. And he said, go for it. So I talked to Paige Howell, and he said, yeah, you can help us with, passing out flyers and everything. And from there, I ended up being the MC, the executive producer. It's like, okay. And I love that, too, because I love the kids. They are so patriotic and so respectful. They are truly amazing. And we did that in conjunction with the World War II tribute, of which I was a part, working with all the World War II veterans to get them to different places. The concert was on Sunday. The tribute was on Monday, and then the second concert was on Tuesday. So
wow.
It was just like,
no wonder you've been busy.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Been busy.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Well, not to rub salt in your wound, but the Alzheimer and Parkinson's Walk was there at Veterans Island. And so for many of us that weren't able to go to the groundbreaking, seeing that World War II memorial was just, most of us got off the track, went over and spent some some quality time together.
It was truly amazing. And I've gotten to know several World War II veterans. I love them too. And quite by accident, that started. I was asked by Carol Jean Jordan to be interviewed at St. John of the Cross the same night a World War II veteran who knew Patton was interviewed. And while he was talking, I met another World War II veteran, and I thanked him for his service. And that was it. And then a couple days later on the island for Veterans Day, I'm getting in my car, and I hear this little voice going, "Excuse me, can you help me?" That was the same man. And he said to me, he said, "I'm a World War II veteran. I have all my World War II memorabilia. My family is gone except for my daughter-in-law. Could you help me find some place for it?" I'm like, Tony Young.
What an honor.
Tony Young and I worked on it, and we found some place. If you go to City Hall, open up the doors, look straight down the back at the bookcase. That's all his things.
Right there in Vero Beach, City Hall.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yes. And from that encounter, we've gotten to know many. I get parties for them for their 100th birthdays. I'm just planning a Christmas party for them at the Legion. Last year, we did a Mardi Gras party, and I get them to different activities throughout the county. The Pathway Church, the Masters Academy has their memorial, like right before Memorial Day, their patriotic show. We got them there last year. They just loved it. And they are the most loving, wonderful men. And they get to know each other, and they open up. It's amazing. I just love them, too.
Is there any room for volunteers to assist you in some of these things?
If you want to, you can call me and see what we could do.
Okay. Do you have a web page or?
Yes, I do. Our web page is ircgoldstarmoms.org.
Okay.
And there's quite a few pictures on there of the past walks. and actually that video that I mentioned of the virtual opening.
Yes.
That's on there too.
I know a lot of Rotarians have done the honor flight and then continued those relationships afterwards. And
I miss being a guardian on that because of COVID. You had to be 70. And because of COVID, when they started back, I was 71 and I couldn't go.
That's my excuse, too. But it's a wonderful thing. These folks have given dedicated time of service and, as you say, some pay dearly for that. And so we should remember them and support their colleagues that are still with us.
Always.
So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
So we're wrapping up here very shortly. Can I have you back again?
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay.
Of course.
Sounds like a plan. And maybe we could get somebody from, no, not in 2 minutes, soon. Maybe the younger group.
Yes, next generation veterans.
Yeah.
I love them like they're my kids. Most of them call me Mom.
Yeah, it would be nice to hear what they're up to because I know that group has gotten very active and done a lot of things, and most of us are a little out of touch with it. But it's, again, a supportive measure that I think would be great if you could
wonderful.
twist somebody's arm gently.
Well, I'll get somebody. I have a couple really good, close ones.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds
I do.
good. In the new year, we'll arrange that.
Perfect.
Okay, so thank you all very much for staying with us. We hope that you're having great plans for a wonderful holiday season, Thanksgiving, and then the holidays that follow that. But certainly Thanksgiving is a time for all of us to remember all the things that we should be thankful for. Doesn't mean that the wolf isn't still hammering outside our door some days, and it can be very depressing and very concerning. But for one day, let's gather our friends and family close, give them hugs, and be grateful for all that we do have in this blessed country. And I will see you next week. Thanks.